So here's a quick one about a guy who got to have the last laugh in the end after his ex's life went to complete dog crap after he stopped taking her back. You're going to see in the story, guys, that this is a perfect example. I talk about how they always come back, how women will deliberately, when they're ready to settle or get close to settling down, they'll choose a guy they normally wouldn't give the time of day to, but if he has good earning potential, he's already making good money and future earning potential, he's a nice guy, that type of thing, they'll stay with him even though they have no interest in him, and often cheat on him with the bad boys or wait till something's better. And of course, the guy will have the last laugh if he learns to kick her to the curb, learn, and move on. Title: I was her backup plan. It says, about 20 years ago, I met a woman who I had an instant attraction to. I found out she was recently divorced. I pursued her. She seemed interested. Smack! You're going to go after a gal that's recently divorced. She obviously wasn't that old, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about her if she's that young and recently divorced. I asked her out, we started dating, and eventually we moved in together. Smack! You only move in together unless you think about marrying her, and certainly after a couple of years, that's too soon. This all happened over the course of 2 years. We were supposedly taking it slow because she was still sensitive about the breakup of her marriage. I thought things were great, and I was really in love. I was planning on asking her to marry me, and things worked out with us living together. After just 2 months, I came home and she had packed up all her things and informed me she was going back to her ex and they were going to work things out. Well, that's real nice of her. I was hurt, but I knew she still had feelings for him, so I wished her well and tried to be understanding. Smack! Right there, that's a typical nice guy line. She said she waited until I was home to tell me in person, which I thought was weird since she decided to pack her belongings first. I had a vague feeling that she was just going to ghost me when I came home, but before she could leave. Probably. She got back with her ex and I started dating other women again. After about a year, she contacted me to see how I'm doing. We talked and she let me know things didn't work out with her ex and she wanted to see me again. I was still into her, so I agreed and we started dating again. Smack! You communicated to her that she can just dump you, walk away like you meant nothing to her, and then she just gives you one phone call and you'll take her back in open arms. Is that going to let a gal respect you or have less respect for you? Less respect. She did that to you before, you move on. You don't take them back. Who has the power in this relationship? She does. Because she can tell this guy, the relationship is way more important to him than her. That gives her the power. But people have to learn the hard way. After 6 months went by, we moved back in together. Smack! You moved back with her again. And everything was going great. And I still wanted to settle down with her, and she was also feeling the same. You sure about that, buddy? Once again, after about 4 months this time, he comes to me and lets me know that she comes to me and she wants to date other men because she's still young and her whole life she'd only been with her ex-husband and with me, and she wanted to know what was out there. So again, this is like fucking Charlie Brown, where Lucy'd hold the football, convince me to go around there and kick it. The second he kicked it, she pulled away. This is the second time. I mean, what do you expect? This is what they do. This is why I don't take them back. Again, I wished her well and I moved out. She wanted to be roommates while she dated. I couldn't do that, so I moved out. She wanted to actually be roommates so you could help pay the bills. And she wanted to be roommates with you, breaking your heart, and she would still date other guys. Does this sound like someone that cares about this guy at all? I knew we would never be together after that and made my mind up to move on, but I was hurting. Not even 2 weeks went by and I found out she had met another guy at her work. She was a bartender. And he was the reason that she wanted to start dating again and didn't seem to care when I told her I was moving out. I don't know how long they were talking before I left, but he moved in not even 2 weeks later. Of course, because she was hooking up with this guy when you guys were still together. See? When I found this out, I was hurting even more. It took 2 years before I could convince her to move in with me, but only 2 weeks for this guy. Yeah, because you're the nice guy she settled for. This is obviously a guy she met on the job as a bartender. And by the way, I'm sure you guys have noticed that female bartenders aren't exactly easy to get unless you're that type of guy. So this guy obviously was this type of guy. He had the power in that relationship. I eventually started to get over it. After about 6 months, I'm still sad about seeing other women. Around that time, one of her friends contacted me and wanted to speak to me. I was confused because she was her friend, not mine, and I didn't feel we were particularly close. So we do meet, and I'm dreading that it was a setup to get me and her friend back together again. I still have feelings for her, but no longer wish to pursue a relationship. I get you can't get over it's hard. I get it takes a while to get over people, but God almighty. She starts the conversation by saying that it's not her place, but she felt I deserve better. So this is his ex's so-called friend here. Remember Al Bundy, don't try to understand women. Women understand women. They hate each other. And they will throw each other under the bus at the chance to get a guy. She goes on to tell me that her friend, my ex-girlfriend, had confided in her a long time ago that she really wasn't into me at all. But I was a good guy with a solid career and secure future to settle down with in case nothing better came along. That must have been a dagger through his heart. But that's what happens. I tell you guys, when they're ready to settle, or they think they're ready to settle, they know the type of guys they're generally attracted to aren't going to be the types that they could provide and all that type of thing. So they find that nice guy who they'd never give the dime a day to, scan the room like the Terminator, boom, target acquired, nice guy. Right here. And she was right. Who had the power in the relationship? She did, because she didn't care. And who fell all in love with her? Who kept taking her back? This guy. I was stunned by this, and it was like someone flipped a switch. Instantly, my feelings for this girl were gone. Thinking back, it all made sense. I knew it was true. I'm glad this guy can admit this. I always knew I wasn't her first choice, and I was okay with that. But to find out that I was her last choice killed whatever feelings I had left for her. Right. That would just stomp your freaking heart. And you know what? If the woman found out that about a guy she was with, that would make her just as upset. I thanked her and paid the check as I was leaving. Of course, she paid the check. And she warned me that things didn't go well with the other guy, and her friend had mentioned getting back to... She warned me that things didn't go well with the other guy, and her friend had mentioned getting back together with me. So she's giving this guy advance notice here. Doesn't sound like she's trying to get with this guy. She just felt bad for him. So that's actually pretty nice. Sure enough, a couple weeks go by, and she starts texting me again, asking how I was doing, sending me provocative selfies, and even showing up at my usual hangouts. See? She does the buttons to push this guy. I ignored the text and pretended not to see at the club and made a quick exit the first time. The second time I was with a date, and then I noticed that and when I saw that, she made a hasty exit that time. She seemed to get the message after that and didn't contact me for a couple of years after that. You see what happens? They keep coming back, and it's always the, hey, just seeing how you're doing. No, you're not. You're sticking your toe in the water, testing the temperature to see how he responds. I'm ashamed to say the last time she contacted me, I felt a grim satisfaction that she seemed desperate and lonely while hinting we should see each other again. Not gonna lie, I still harbor resentment. I don't blame you. If you knew flat out she told her friends you were her last pick and she's only with you, not because she likes you, but because what you can provide, I'd be resentful too. And I would take great satisfaction in hearing that her life isn't going so well. Please. I'm settled down now with a wonderful woman now, and she knew that when she contacted me, I'm settled down with a wonderful woman now, and she knew that when she contacted me and still did it anyway. Exactly. Because your ex, in her mind, you'll always take her back. That's why you don't take them back. Particularly after they do you wrong in so many horrible ways, you know? But this is an example, guys. So for you dating and relationship guys out there, you have a gal, doesn't work out, particularly if she ends it with you, move on. Block her completely, don't take her back. Don't buy the waterworks and that shit, because if you do, you'll be like this guy. How many times do people have to suffer before they understand? But you know what? A guy can have the last laugh because a gal like that is always going to choose the wrong guys, and those wrong guys are going to treat him like dog shit. They'll be crying and begging and say, I didn't understand. He messed with my mind. They cry about that, and then they mess with your mind. So, learn, gentlemen.